Are writing advice books really worth reading? Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel where I post writing advice videos every single Friday and tons of bonus content. So today we're digging into books you should read to improve your writing, non-fiction edition. So these are books that are actually out there promoted as giving writing advice. So I will be sharing 4 of these books that are actually worth reading, and then I'm going to dive into some of them that I don't think is worth your while. So the first book I think is worth reading is Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. So everyone has probably heard of this writing advice book. It's actually a book about screenwriting. So a lot of the jargon and things are targeted towards screenwriters, but all of the tips can be applied to writing a novel as well. There's also a specialized book called Save the Cat Writes a Novel if you want more targeted writing advice. So why I love this book so much is that it helps you with plotting and with story structure, which is one of the things that a lot of writers struggle with. You know, you're good at conveying emotion, you're good at creating characters, but your plot falls apart because there isn't enough structure to it. Now, this book shows you one of the ways in which you can structure your plot for it to be interesting and to keep the reader's attention. So it gives you specific plot beats and where in your novel those plot beats should happen. It gives writing advice about how to get the readers to like your main character, have them save a cat. You also have little tidbits of writing advice, like don't try to put too many magical elements into a single story and things like that. Once again, I got a lot of flack for this on Tumblr. I'm not telling you to write a formula, but if you're struggling to set up a plot structure, then this is one of the ways to do it, and it is a way that has been proven to work, and it is just set up in a great simplistic way. You can see that I really liked this one, so please do yourself a favor and get this one, or get the Save the Cat Writes a Novel. The beat sheet you can find on the internet for free, so try to get a hold of something Save the Cat wise, because it will really help you with story structure. Next up is Read This If You Want to Be a Great Writer by Ross Raisin. Guys, I love this book. This is one of my favorite writing advice books, or craft books, whatever you feel like calling it, because it stretches from like what time in the day to write, to how to write sex scenes, how to do point of view, plots, place, pacing, characters, all of that. And what it does is it gives you different ways of doing one thing. So it's not just this is one way to do it. It shows you how various different successful writers have approached various aspects of writing, and it gives examples where it highlights certain things and shows you this is where the author decided to do this is where he decided to do that. And it really is amazing because it's such a simple and well-rounded guide to every aspect of the writing process. So I really think that this is such a great guide and just a way of getting inspiration for any writer out there. So read this if you want to be a great writer. Third is Closing the Deal on Your Terms, Agents, Contracts and Other Considerations by Christine Catherine Rush. So this book is not one of my favorite books to read, I'm going to be honest, because it was converted from blog posts, and I think that the author could have gone through a little more trouble to convert it into novel form. It's still very blog-like, and a lot of references are made to the blog and things like that. And also the writer can be a little patronizing, and it's a little demoralizing. It can really deter you from trying to publish your book. But the information that you will find in this book is invaluable. It is worth it to go through the way the book is written to get to the information in this book. So this is more business related, publishing related than it is writing related, and it's about what you should look out for when you are signing with an agent, signing with a publisher, and things like that. It includes clauses in the contracts that are not in your favor, that you might not understand when you see it for the first time. And it's explained in this book, and it tells you why it is not a good thing for you and what you should look out for. So I really think that if you want to go into publishing, self-publishing or traditional publishing, this is a great book for you because it will help you from falling into traps, falling for scams, and having a publisher basically buy your soul. So this is a really, really great book. And even as someone who has studied law, there were a lot of things in this book that I would not have noticed had I just seen a contract before me. So do yourself a favor. I know it's going to be demoralizing. You're going to feel like I don't want to publish it anymore, but it is definitely worth it. The final book that I would like to recommend is 102 Ways to Write a Novel by Alex Quick. Now this book literally has 102 chapters and it covers everything you can think of about the writing process, and it gives you nice, succinct tips on how to do each aspect. My favorite chapter is number 102, the 102nd way that deals with writing an anti-novel. So that's about basically discarding everything he's told you in this book and doing whatever the hell you want, which I think is a great way to end a book, because it's kind of not taking yourself too seriously and realizing that although you can learn a lot about writing craft, you can throw all of it out of the window as well. So I really, really recommend this one. It's really old already. You can see the pages are really browning. This was the first writing advice book I ever read and I loved it. And it's such a great way to also just spark your imagination and get you inspired, because it makes it seem so doable to write a book and to do it well. So it also is in steps. So if you follow step 1, creating character profile, step 2, so you can really use this as a guide to develop your outline and then write your book. Now getting to the not so nice part of this video, and that is the books that I don't think are worth buying and reading. So I'm not gonna linger on any of these books. I'm just gonna show you the book and then tell you why I think it wasn't really, for me, it didn't contribute that much. So the first one is Richard Skinner's writing a novel. Richard Skinner is a writer and also a writing professor. The thing about this book that I didn't really like is it's really highbrow, and I'm gonna say pretentious, and I don't think that's really the right word, but it uses very intense terminology that I don't think ordinary writers would like to read. You know, most writers are really good with language and vocabulary and things like that, and I understood what he was saying. I just felt like it wasn't necessary to try and make it that elitist almost, and I don't feel like through all of those very big words I learned a lot. You know, it does help you a little with free and direct discourse and stream of consciousness and things like that that are more academic terms, but for someone who had already studied English, it was kind of just, oh, okay, someone is trying to show me how much he knows about writing. So I know I'm sounding very harsh. I don't want to criticize Richard Skinner, but I don't think this is worth your while. Next up is How to Write Like Tolstoy, A Journey into the Minds of Our Greatest Writers by Richard Cohen. Now you can see that I found this book somewhat interesting, judging by all of the flags that I put in and sticky notes and things. But that is because I am very interested in learning about the writing craft and about just writing in general, not necessarily in terms of practicality or what I am going to implement. Writing just fascinates me. So what this book does is it shows you how certain other big writers, and mainly Tolstoy, did certain things. So when did they write, where did they write, how did they open their novels. But it isn't really a how-to, it's more of just a oh, you know, let's look at what other people did, and it doesn't really explain how you can do that yourself. So very objectively, theoretically, academically, it's nice because it shows you a little bit about the writing craft, but if you just want kind of a guide to help you write better, I wouldn't recommend this one. Next up is Doing Creative Writing by Steve May. So this one I bought just before I started my creative writing module in my degree, and it is more it's more linked to how to be in a creative writing class and how to give criticism or deal with rejection, or what they are really looking for in creative writing. Is it worthwhile to take a creative writing course? Things like that. So not really worth it. And then the last one that I read, obviously there are like hundreds of thousands of these types of books. I haven't read all of them, so I'm just going through the ones that I read that worked for me and didn't. So this one is Your Creative Career by Anna Sabino. This isn't a book about creative writing in particular. It's about turning whatever creative passion you have into a career. This has been recommended by a lot of author tubers, which is why I thought it would be a good idea to read it, but I feel like it didn't really tell me anything that I didn't already know. It's very wishy-washy. It's very you know, oh, you should determine a price and you should know who you're selling to, but it doesn't really give you more information than that. So it's very surface level and broad, and yeah, it's cute and it's inspirational, but it didn't really teach me anything. So yeah, if you see a lot other people recommending it, you know, go with what you think works for you, but it didn't mean a lot to me. So that is it. Those are the books that I would recommend, books that I wouldn't. I hope that this could help you. Obviously, there are lots of writing advice books out there. If you have any recommendations, things that you have read and have helped you, then please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want writing advice videos every single Friday and tons of bonus content, then you have to hit that subscribe button. And if you want a notification to your inbox as soon as I upload, then you should also ring that little bell. Then I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!